I'd like to show you something that I call hocus pocus, where's your focus? I mean, right now some of you are already focusing upon the fact that I'm using bicycle playing cards. Some of you may be focusing upon the fact that I give the cards an overhand shuffle. Some of you may not even know what to focus on, and if that's the case, I'll start from the very beginning by taking the cards back out of the card case. Once the cards are removed from the case, let me show you what to focus on. Focus upon the fact that all the cards are facing the exact same way. All of the deck is face up. I'm going to be turning some cards face down, some cards face up, some face down, some face up, into a real mishmash of a jumblation of cards face up and face down. If I give the cards a cut, some might be face down. If I cut them again, some may be face up. Some could be back to back, and of course they are. This is the magical moment to focus on. I take the top card, place it in the center of the pack, give a little magical motion, and just like magic, all of those cards are now facing the exact same way. All of the cards have straightened themselves out. Not one, not two, but each and every card is now facing the exact same way. I'd like to recap, if I could, go back a little bit in time when I did show you that all the cards were face up. That's a very important moment to remember, because after I did that, I then took them out of the box, didn't I? Yeah, you always have to take the cards out of the box to perform this. Once the cards are out of the box, remember I told you to focus upon the fact that all the cards are face up. I'll show that to you again. All the cards are face up. Each and every card is facing the same way. Because now I'm going to take some of the cards face up, some of the cards face down, some face up, some face down. Once again, into a real mishmash of an affair here. Some are face up and some are face down. If I cut the cards, there's one face down. There's one face up, and once again, the cards can be back to back. It's a very common condition. If I take the top card, this is the card to focus on. It goes in the center of the deck, and with that magical moment right there, that was the moment to focus on. Hocus pocus, where's your focus? All of the cards are now facing the exact same way. Not one, not two, not three, but each and every card is now facing the exact same way. So remember, one of the magical moments to remember was the fact that when all the cards were face down, or facing the same way, face up, I then took them out of the box, didn't I? That's right. After you take them out of the box, now sometimes you can make that box disappear if you want, just get rid of it. It kind of gets in the way, vanishes into nothingness. It has to go someplace though, doesn't it? Of course it knows where to vanish or where to go to. It always travels to my pocket as if by magic. And that is what I call hocus pocus. Where's your focus? Thank you for watching. You're going to need 4 playing card boxes that look exactly the same. I only happen to have 3 at the time with matching coloration, so just pretend that this one matches all the other boxes. I had to expand this box so it holds a much thicker deck of cards because we're going to be adding these cardboard gimmicks to it. So what I did is I took an X-Acto knife and I slit all the way down very carefully so I could open up this flap entirely, lift the box up a little bit, and then re-glue it back down so that the box is skinnier on one end and fatter on the other, but it allows extra space for the extra thickness you're going to need. This particular gimmick is simply the front and the back of a bicycle card box. You notice I glued a regular bicycle card on the back of the box because it had a different I don't want to say insignia, it had a different faceplate to it than what the old style boxes do. So it doesn't really matter. This is going to fly by them with no problem. You simply glue a bicycle playing card to that and cut the half moon out. With a card box, you cut the bottom out, cut the right side out, and that's your gimmick. Next gimmick is the front of the box, the flap, and the right side. And you'll notice that whenever the flap folds, it can fold at this position here, or it can fold further down. There's a crease further down also that allows it to fold. So what I did was when I glued my playing card on the inside of this of the front flap, I cut the playing card off so that when you fold the back flap over all the way down to the bottom here, that it kind of lines up, and you'll see why you need that to be that way in a little bit later on. The last gimmick is the traditional gimmick you see used a lot of times. This was just a regular playing card glued to the front flap of the card box, of the front and the flap. So that's that. Now the setup. For the setup, you take this particular gimmick, you fold the flap in, you fold the flap back, and then you take one playing card and you place it on top, around the back, I guess I should say around the back. Place one playing card right there. You then place another playing card on top of the flap. You then take this gimmick, fold the flap back, placing that on top right there, and the rest of the deck goes on top of there. Take 9 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You could use 10, I usually use 9 cards and set those aside because we're going to need those a little bit later on. You take this gimmick setup, as you see here, and place it inside of this particular cutout of the box. Folding the flap in, like that. Take the 9 or 10 cards and place them on the bottom. They go on the bottom. So as long as you hold the deck of cards with your first finger over that one edge right there, from the front it looks like a regular deck of cards. And everything goes inside the card box, the expanded box, by the way. This flap will not close, but don't worry about that. You never have it fully closed when you bring it out. You bring the box out with the skinny side facing the audience. You remove the deck of cards, squeeze everything very tightly with your thumb, pulling them out, using your first finger to cover up that little bit of card box showing there. You use your little finger to help close the flap, place it away in your pocket or your close-up case. You rotate everything into your left hand, removing the 9 cards from the bottom. And I generally, as I shuffle off, I in-jog the first card so I can cover up that half moon right there, even though it's only exposed just for a second. And you notice that up front I have my first finger covering up the card box right there. So you shuffle off, and as you shuffle the second time, when you almost run out of cards, or you do, you turn everything over, and voila, the card box is suddenly back around the deck of cards. You then pick up the card box, transfer it to your left hand, or reposition it, I should say. Use your first finger and thumb to open up the flap. And I usually pull everything I separated a little bit like that so I can get my thumb into that cutout, the half moon cutout, so I can get my thumb into there and bring out this gimmick pack of cards. I use my little finger to cover the flap again. And as you can see, my thumb hides the fact that there's cards underneath there, and I can flash this side to the audience as I place them away. Usually I'll flash them, just a quick flash, and place them in my pocket or my close-up case. These cards can be shown rather freely now. And now you go into the routine. You simply show all the cards face up. You can freely show both hands, turning them over. You explain that you're going to be turning some cards face up and some cards face down. You do turn the top card face down and leave it that way. Then as you spread a few cards over, you turn your right hand over, and remember where you stopped. See the 9 of hearts? That's where I stopped, so I'm going to continue spreading. I remember that 9 of hearts, and I keep that 9 of hearts in view as I show some cards face up, some cards face down, and then go into my slop shuffle. I stop short of the end of the deck of cards, and I always stop with my right hand in a face down position. My 9 of hearts is still clearly visible. I turn everything over and flip everything over one more time. And at that 9 of hearts is where I get my break as I square everything up. If I cut above the break, I show a card face down. If I cut below the break, all the cards are going to be face up, so I'll show one card face up. I then separate at the break and up jog and show some cards back to back. I remove those cards as I show them and flip them all the way over like a book, taking the top card, flipping it over, placing it inside the pack, and with a little magical gesture show that all the cards are now facing the same way. Isn't that amazing? At this point, you need to get rid of this card on the back. Let me show you the card on the back. You need to get rid of that card. So what I do is, as I show all the cards have separated, I will use my first finger to steal that card. It just blatantly goes underneath and steals that card and pulls it away as I continue showing front and back, front and back. That gets rid of that card. Now what you need to do is to slide, because you have this gimmick on the back now, you need to slide the entire deck. Well, actually you need to slide the bottom card over to the right. So if you move the deck to the left and slide to the right, what will happen is that little flap that was underneath will pop up, and then you can pull the deck back in position like that. So it was like this. All you do is slide over, the flap will pop up, put it back in position like that, and now you need to go into a thumb fan. But to do that, you need to up jog. You need to up jog all the cards till you get to where the jack is. So you up jog to where the jack starts, and you can feel that, so definitely ledge there. You then go into a thumb fan to show all the cards facing the same way. As you square up the fan, all of a sudden the card's going to be back in the box again, and this is how that works. Remember, the flap is back here. You square them up, your finger engages the flap and wraps it around as you turn everything over. Now from the front it looks pretty good again. Whoops, I didn't engage the flap. Okay, the flap is engaged. You push up, you then thumb fan, and as you close up and revolve the flap over, there you go. Now we're in position where from the front it looks good because you have the side of the card box and the top. The only bad angles are from the back and up here by your thumb. So now you face the deck towards spectators. This is where you need to fold the flap all the way back so that you can grab the deck now that's sticking out all the way back, and as you pull these out, this particular little flap is going to be held in position by your little finger, and sort of like at the base of your fingers, or the base of your fingers sort of hold that open, and your little finger comes back and puts the flap back around. So you can still flash it as you go to place it away. From the front, they see the edge of the card box as that gets placed away. Now you're in a position to do the effect again. Show all the cards face up, facing the same way. Reverse a card. I'm going to turn some cards face up, some cards face down. Now this time my spotted card's the ace of clubs, the ace of diamonds rather. I always keep the ace of diamonds in view. Face up, face down, face up, face down, face up. I stop with my hand face down so I can revolve everything over, and there's my ace of diamonds where I get my break. Cut above the breaks, the card face down. Cut below the breaks, the card face up. Up jog at the break, and you have back to back. Revolve everything over. Take the top card, flip it over, stick it in, do the magical gesture, and once again, all the cards are facing the same way. Each and every card. Again, you want to get rid of this card back here, so I do it like I did before. As I'm showing the fronts and the backs, I simply steal it with my first finger as I'm showing front and back, front and back, front and back. Now I'm in this position. At this point, you want to show all the cards facing the same way, but you're not going to thumb fan them this time. You're going to thumb fan them in the up position, like that, keeping your thumb on the flap so it doesn't pop open. And as you square everything up, your finger catches that flap and opens it up, and the deck is rotated all the way around, and instantly the card case is back around the deck of cards again. At this point, you turn your hand over, you push the flap all the way back, wrap your fist around it, pretend to take the card box out, fanning these. Of course, the gimmick's back here. You fan, the card box disappears, and you show that it goes back into your pocket as you go to your pocket or your close-up case to show that that's where the card box ended up.